there's a lot of frustration with the 8 Democrats who voted with Republicans to reopen the government. The rest of the Senate Dems, including Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, voted no. Have you ever broken with your party, Senator? And what's that experience like?
Oh, sure. I mean, I did that a number of times when I was in the Senate, including on reopening the government. I broke with them on several times, broke with them on several judicial nominations, things like that.
So you've been in the shoes of these 8 Democrats. What's your advice to them right now?
Sure. Well, look, let's just be candid. I was a little bit in a different position. I was given a lot more runway as a Democrat from a red state like Alabama. I was given a lot of runway with Senator Schumer and the party. But I do believe that, folks are going to criticize these 8 senators, but ultimately they brought this to the attention of the American people. They brought it to the attention of so many folks, and there will be a vote one way or another. One of the things that I think this was caused a problem is that the biggest deficit we've got in Capitol Hill right now is one of trust. And Democrats just didn't trust Republicans. Republicans don't trust Democrats. And I think that's why they held out for as long as they did. But ultimately, I think these 8 senators did what they believed to be best in the best interest of their constituents and then in the country. And I don't think anybody should criticize that. I know Democrats are angry right now, but we got to play where we are. And I think as we go forward, Democrats will see that these issues are still going to be front and center. They're still going to be very, very difficult, but they're going to be put on point and they're going to be put to a vote. And sometimes it's going to be the Republicans that are going to have to now make an affirmative call about whether or not they want to do anything on these subsidies, even if it's just extending them for another year. And then if that happens and it passes, then Speaker Johnson's going to have to decide, is he going to bring that to the floor of the House of Representatives? We'll see. There's a lot to play out in the aftermath of this shutdown.
Congressman, how should Republicans handle this ACA subsidy issue? Because there are a lot of folks in competitive districts right now, Republicans, that are worried this is going to be pretty bad for them, for their constituents, their voters.
I think it's worth having a conversation about, is there, again, if you're going to do an extension, make it a temporary extension, not making it permanent. The goal among Democrats, the stated goal, was to make these subsidies permanent. It's certainly an open conversation as to whether you can do something. I think most Republicans would prefer to let them expire and move forward from there. And I think that's a needle they can thread. They'll figure it out and do the best they can. It's a legitimate policy discussion to have a conversation about, but so is our giant national debt and deficit, and we've got to start making choices that move us forward in lots of different ways. And Republicans need to be willing to cut things that are Republican programs too. So there needs to be a bigger conversation here, because the number one rule when you find yourself in a hole should be stop digging. But we can't seem to figure that out in Congress. And, I agree with Senator Jones, by the way. I broke with my party a bunch of times in the House. That's less ordinary in the House. I remember doing it on the discharge petition for the Export-Import Bank. I remember doing it on immigration reform. I remember doing it on making sure that we kept the government open. And my advice to those 8 Democrats is that America needs patriots and not partisans right now. And, do the best you can.